Good morning, one and all. My name is Eltimar, and we are going to be beginning a Let's Play of Torment, Tides of Numenera. I've been waiting for this game for quite some time. It's been on Early Access for a while. I didn't play it on Early Access because I wanted to get the full experience of the game the first time through. Consequently, this is going to be a blind playthrough. As you know, I did the same thing on Pillars of Eternity, and I will be doing the same thing on this game, where I do a blind playthrough and then probably like a Triple Crown type playthrough later on. This game was made by InXile, who is also responsible for Wasteland 2, another great game. And we're going to get started right away. This is a spiritual successor to Planescape Torment, which was a game released back in the 90s, I believe, maybe the early 2000s, based in a city called Sigil. This one is not in the same universe because I guess licensing rules precluded that. And so it is on Earth, a million years in the future. We're going to hit start game and see what happens. A loading screen happened. Very exciting. Will I be male or female? I will be male, I think.
Your mind wakes in darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you. Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important, as if it once meant the world to you, but the details slip away as you grasp at them. You force your eyes open.
I'm going to look at this body.
The body is... wait, you are wearing a form-fitting suit of some dark material. You recall that you were wearing something much more elaborate a short time ago. You have smooth, light brown skin, 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each foot. Good muscles, strong but not bulky, and slim hips. Your palms are soft, as if they have not done much labor, but scars and burns on the hands and wrists suggest that you haven't always been careful. Why can't you remember this? Without warning, the cocoon that surrounds you shreds and tears away. You are falling. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in on itself. The world is many kilometers below you.
I'm going to dive towards the ground.
Put your hands to your sides, and you slice through the air. The wind tears at your face and scalp, and your skin burns under the tremendous speed. Your vision blurs, and you are unable to judge how far you've fallen.
Keep diving. The faster the better.
A phrase whispers itself into your mind. Terminal velocity. You have reached the limit of the speed the air will grant you, and now that you enter the lower reaches of the atmosphere, you can feel it thickening around you, and miraculously you are slowing from the frenzied descent. Slow is a relative term. You knife through the air, piercing its veils, and you have no time for the poetry of falling. This realization drives itself home as you strike an unyielding surface. As your skin explodes and your organs liquefy on impact, a brief thought flashes through your mind. Your life was utterly and completely meaningless.
I splattered myself. Whoops. Did we just end the game? I totally did. Okay, we have to start again. Well, it's good to know. You can actually die in the very, very beginning of the game. Let's try that again. That is funny. I'll be male again. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna look at my body again.
Without warning,
I'm falling.
The cocoon that surrounds you shreds.
I'm going to flatten to try and catch the wind.
And they respond sluggishly. You stop tumbling head over heels. Though you were still spinning laterally, that motion has calmed as well. And you have space to assess your situation, and perhaps to understand the predicament and the body in which you find yourself. Below you, you see a large landmass. A massive ocean dominates the rest of the visible globe, dotted here and there with island chains. Small moons, unusual structures, and strange machines rush past you in glittering profusion as you plummet toward the ground.
I will study the world.
Now you see that this appears to be a huge megacontinent, the only land of any size, on this side of the world at least. Great inland seas and lakes dot the land, and curiously, regular mountain ranges march up and down and across. You are falling toward what looks to be a great bay, a sprawling city perched on its shore just to the north. Further to the north and east, you see a broad plain scattered with curious structures, visible even from this height. The northeastern portion of this land looks to be a desert, a strange blue dot like an eye in its exact center. It seems to hold a city in its watery grasp. To its west is a ring of huge mountains surmounted by enormous carved peaks spewing magma into a central catch basin. What concerns you most right now is the bay below you. It's coming at you quickly.
Let's try to slow even more.
It's fruitless. You've reached a velocity that could, without irony, best be named terminal. You spread your arms and legs and try to catch a draft, and it looks like you'll hit the bay that's rushing toward you, unless you hit the building in its littered waters. A strange web of colors surrounds you, thrown by a figure standing on the balcony of the structure. But it is effective only at slowing your fall. You strike the building hard enough to crack its crystalline structure, and you hear one of the engines that supports it protest and howl, and the agony of the crash overcomes you. And then, darkness.
At least we survived this time, though. That would have been a very short Let's Play last time. We just spotted ourselves on the ground and called it a day. Oh, cool. So the game is very dark, at least at this point. Move. Yes, I think I shall. Interact with that thing. Jumbled thoughts cloud your head as you study the empty bowl before you. Drops of liquid fall from the ceiling, splattering on the ground next to the bowl. The light from every drop is reflected in the bowl's rounded hollow, as if it hungers for that light and needs to be filled. Yet the bowl remains dry. Another drop falls from the ceiling and splashes across the pylons, wasted. I'm going to move the bowl. I'm going to try to do a might check. You've encountered your first task. You have 3 stat points, might, speed, and intellect, that you can spend to increase your chances of success. This is called using effort. To more easily move the bowl in front of you, use the mouse click to spend might for a higher level of effort. Don't worry if you fail this task. In Torment, failure often results in interesting outcomes. Oh, I see, I can put might points into this. Let's try 85%. I like might. Maybe not. Whatever. It's too late now. You carefully take hold of the bowl, avoiding the teeth on the serrated rim. With a deep breath, you move it over the glowing pool of fallen light. Oh, that is a big bowl, I'll give it that. I thought it was just a shadow. It's a very dark area. Drop by drop, the bowl fills, ripple spreading over the blurred outline of your reflection. A pale blue luminescence stretches into the corners of the room. A clear radiance spills across the segmented floor, washing away the nearest shadows and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You are not whole, not yet, but you've begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out from somewhere high above you, beyond the reaches of the spreading light. Hello? Are you still alive down there? We're up here! Build a path to us, and be careful! How do I build a path? Well, apparently I built part of one. I can zoom with the middle mouse button. The mouse wheel. Go figure. Let's go press the thing. I pressed the thing. As soon as you touch the orb, a memory floods your mind. You stand in front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dank. You've had a moment's respite from this waterlogged hell. A bubble of stale air, your resting point. You breathed water before, and you've lived decades beneath the waves. But this body is an air breather, and the constant pressure has been crushing you ever so subtly. Worse, your companion's mind seems to be wandering from the task at hand. He is a genius with machines, as you well know, but now he seems distracted. The device in his hands is covered in knobs, wires, and antennas. He believes he can get the two of you through the corroded door, but he's merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost faith in his invention, but that's hardly your concern. This mission cannot be delayed. It must proceed. Let's deceive him. Actually, let's threaten him until he returns to the task at hand. Do your job, damn it! Your shouted words seem muffled in the stale air. Your companion flinches away from you. Sorry, just wanted to make sure I hadn't made a mistake. He makes minute adjustments to the knobs and blinking levers of the device, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. A dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the water-bordered cells and the aquatic viewing areas. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you're underwater again, your hands closing up around a strange yet familiar artifact. You need to complete something. It hovers above a pedestal, rotating in the dark water. An electrical current runs through your fingers as your hand crosses the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that the wave of pressure dazes you for a moment. The rising pulse of sonar alarm ripples through the water. The guards won't be far behind. I'm going to disable the sonar pulse. That sounds reasonable. You focus on the cloudy base of the pedestal. Your fingers instinctively find the control panel for the jeweled force field, almost as if you had built it in the first place. You remove it, casting it to the side, and reach inside to deactivate the crystals that power both the pulse and the pedestal. As you remove them, a scaly hand falls on your shoulder. Your head whips around and you see only the inky blackness of a piscine eye. The memory begins to fade, as if you are drawn backwards through a tunnel, and you hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into that gap in your mind, but the edges of it are rough, as though the memory itself is not truly yours. There is something else. A gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey at the far end of a dark, whispering field. I want fancy movie blocky things. They're kind of awesome. Alright, we made it up. There's a couple doors here. The light around the door's frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in a high wind. Cool. What about this door? No sign or symbol tells you what might be behind this enormous door. A dull chill radiates from its bronze, segmented surface, and the thick metal wheel seems frozen in place. Alright, how about this one? Countless scratches and wounds mar the surface of this door. Someone has made a great effort to get inside, but to no avail. You stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad plateau towering above the overgrowth far below. Strange machines have been built into the cliffside, presumably for reconnaissance or defense. A metallic disc gleams from the center of this plateau. Your self-aware humanoid machines drill into the base of the cliff below. If you were looking for a sanctuary, and you were desperately, this seems to be the right place. I don't know what this is, the woman says, her voice flat, neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than the others we've found? I will use my charm to persuade her. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with the other... Oh, no, charm. Use your charm to persuade her of the merits of the site and remind her of the time constraints. A cloud passes over the sun as you engage her in spirited, friendly debate, pointing out the footprint of a prior world civilization whose power remains untapped. After a few minutes, she laps, raising her hands in mock surrender. Stop, stop! Your servitors are down there. You've already chosen this as the site, haven't you? She waits for your affirmation and says, Alright, I'm convinced. The two of you sketch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics and architectural diagrams. Then you descend onto the plateau to examine the open ground. The woman suggests having one of the servitors build a shelter for your time here. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulder to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes you across the face with inhuman speed. It turns back to its task, ignoring you. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it? I'm going to use the Numenera integrated into the construct's body to overwhelm the behavior malfunction. I don't know what that does. A mist falls onto the plateau as you activate the time-scarred artifacts fastened to the construct's behavioral core with a sub-vocalized command. With an abrupt clack and a pulse of pleasant warmth, the device just purged the error, and 7 copper-band spheres drop out of the evenly spaced rifts into the air. Ignoring this common side effect, you give new orders to the malfunctioning construct in a firm, clear voice. Acknowledged. It obediently trembles to the sight of your new shelter. The image freezes, then fades, and you feel the memory filling the gap in your mind, block by jagged block. You stagger, clutching your head, reclaiming your memories hurts, and once more there's something else. Hairs lift, one by one, on the back of your neck. Something beyond this room can sense what you are doing, and is hunting you. Well, that's never a good sign, but we'll deal with that as it comes up. Alright, there's another orby thing up here. Let's go take a look at it. A vision of a city springs up around you. Your city, in flames and under attack. Her defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attackers keep coming. They fight as if your destruction were demanded of them. They care nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She has seen the way to stop the invaders. You need to get her to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn toward the door of the tower, two of the attackers descend from a hovering machine. You don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brutishly large, his weapon a vibrating axe. The other is slim, sheathed in glassy armor, and holding a hilt with a sizzling, invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She's too young to help. Your enemies advance single file, confined by the parapet. I'm going to duck under the giant swing and attack it before he can strike. You roll under the blurring arc of his axe. He's overconfident, testing you without committing to the attack. Yes, he's fast, but not as fast as you are. And when he raises the great axe above his head to finish you, you're able to bury your blade under his breastplate. The blade emerges from the back of his neck, and his life's blood washes over your hands. He falls, taking your weapon with him, and his companion attacks. Her invisible blade is far more lethal than the giant's axe. You duck as she thrusts at you, and the wall behind you hisses, destroyed. Her return swing cuts through your armor, ruining your breastplate. She doesn't have to be skilled with a weapon like this. She just has to make contact. You time your attack just as she pulls back for another strike. You barrel into her, driving her over the wall, and she drops screaming to the ground, 50 meters below. The immediate threat ended. You focus on finding your way back to your allies. You open the tower door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked, opening just a bit into the hall, and you hear more of the enemy soldiers beyond. I'm going to crack the door open and sneak past them. That sounds cool. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly, like the sound of a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again, squeeze through the narrow opening, and creep down the bloodstained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Your temples throb with the remaining force of your heartbeat, and the reclaimed memories blaze within you like a bonfire on a mountain peak, visible to every predator for kilometers around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you, as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying on your feet, you see frantic movement from the borders of a mirror at the edge of the room. I'm guessing this is how we choose our class or something like that. I have no idea what class we're going to get, because we've used a whole bunch of different skills. Hi, mirror. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with a dizzying number of interlocking symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets, and more, but that's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people, even exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with, and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a precious few are vivid and pull at your attention. Each of them bears an intricate pentagonal tattoo on their head. Pentagons. In their eyes, their actions, you see the memories you discovered within the orbs and the choices you have made, shining like distant stars. Your hand twitches at your side, and though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, an even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. A rumble shakes the room, and slow vibrations spread from the darkness below, rippling towards the ceiling. I think I'm going to point at the doppelganger slipping gracefully through the mob. It's going to be a rogue this time. The doppelganger darts from the crowd and leans out of the mirror, gently pokes your nose. When you try and do the same, it deftly leans out of your reach, laughing. It chuckles, waiting for your decision. Yes. This is who I am. Why not? The remaining doppelgangers scatter for the edges of the mirror and vanish. Your chosen identity steps forward. Its appearance changes as it steps out of the rippling glass. Its face reflects confidence and cleverness. Shadows of weapons flicker in and out of its hand, and a few devices shimmer on his belt. You get the feeling that you would be comfortable in a variety of situations. The word Jack sounds in your mind. We got the graceful descriptor. I don't know what that means. Your doppelganger continues walking, stepping into you, filling you, making you whole. Your decision rings out into the cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the walls. Suddenly, a grotesque noise rings through your shared worlds, like a bell, if bells could rot. Something is coming. I have might pool stuff increased. The mirror fades, leaving a dark, open doorway. You take a deep breath and step through. Your choices in the memories and the mirror have begun to build your character, but now you have the opportunity to decide on a number of details. First, you can change your type. Type defines the abilities and skills you'll be able to acquire as you advance. Okay. What did I get for my type? I'm a graceful jack. I can be a glaive. They are the elite warriors. They use weapons and armor to fight their enemies. Scouts, guardians, warlords, and soldiers can be glaives. Most glaives either have high might and use the heaviest armor or weapons, or high speed and stick with light or ranged weapons, and light or medium armor. What's a jack? They're intrepid explorers and adventurers. They are jack of all trades, hence the name, although the world also harkens back to the fables involving a wily, resourceful hero who always seemed to be named Jack. Jacks are at their best when they combine weapons, armor, esoteries, ciphers, and a clever tongue. They are treasure hunters, grifters, scalds, rogues, and experts in a variety of fields. That's what I'm going to go with, probably. Nanos are sometimes called mages, wizards, sorcerers, or witches by the people of the Ninth World. Whatever they're called, Nanos master the mysteries of the past to the degree that they seem to perform miracles using esoteries, spell-like invocations that combine gestures, command words, and psychic disciplines. They tap into nanospirits, numinous particles that suffuse the landscape to alter reality or learn things that they couldn't otherwise know. I don't think that's a real word. Alright, let's be Jack. What's flex skill? We get 1 exploration, lore, or conversation skill, +1 trading level, and that skill while active. Interesting. What's Nano get? Onslaught is magic, cipher limit increase, and concentration, or opportunist, and practiced in armor. We're gonna go jack of all trades though. Apparently we can't do heavy weapons, or do we have heavy weapons? Oh, inability to train heavy weapons. We're also enabled to do smashing. But we have quick fingers, which is kind of cool. Alright, we're going to take the jack. How do I click buttons? Okay, good enough. Set pools are the resources you use to apply effort or activate abilities. You can distribute the points as you seem fit. Glaives tend to favor might and or speed, while nanos favor intellect. Jacks usually benefit from a balanced set of points. I figured as much. So we are... How many do we have? 4 points remaining. So we're going to go 7... 7, 7, 7? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. We'll go completely average. Okay. Abilities unlocked by your type can be active actions, such as attacks or spell-like esoteries, or unique passive effects. Okay, we have 2 points remaining. We can get Trained Without Armor, which is extra willpower when wearing no or light armor. Practice in Armor, which is gives us... reduces the penalty to esoteric attacks incurred by armor by 50%. Sucker Punch is an actual attack. It deals weapon damage +3, and if they have a negative fettle, confer daze to them. We can infuse our weapon, make the weapon attack. Choose a damage type, then make a weapon attack. Okay, I see. So you choose a type and do that. It's like a magic thing. Hedge magic. Automatically succeed on the next quick fingers or smashing task. I think I'm going to go Trained Without Armor. We're going to go light armor. We're going to be really roguey. And we're going to go infuse weapon, I think. Or maybe just hedge magic. We'll try that. How do I get rid of you? I guess I can't get... Oh, wait, maybe I should have to click here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Actually, you know what? No, let's go with infuse. We have pretty decent abilities. I don't really need Sucker Punch, I don't think. Most skills increase your chances of success on specific kinds of actions and tasks, but some give other passive bonuses. Each skill starts at the novice level, but can be increased to trained and specialized, granting greater bonuses at each level. Descriptors often leave some skills at the red inability level, meaning that inflict penalties when upgraded. These return to the novice level. So we can't do really smashing, but we're not too worried about that. We need an exploration skill, so we can get endurance, which gives us hit points. We don't have an inability to it, so we don't need to worry about the health decreasing. How many skill points do we have, though? Oh god, I didn't want that. How do I get rid of it? How do I remove you? Stop it. Do I just click something else? Okay, we only have 1 skill apparently. Okay, we can do Anamenis, which is something. The last cutoff can access the memories of previous consciousnesses. It represents our focus and acumen when attempting to recall these experiences. I think that might be really good, actually. This one mitigates penalties for equipped bonded weapons or artifacts. Okay. We only have 1 point, so we have to choose well. I think I'm going to take Anamnesis. Anamnesis? Whatever. Stealth might be useful too, though. But I think I'm going to take this one because I have a feeling this is going to be like Torment, or Planescape Torment, where your memories of your past are very important. In that game, High Wisdom was kind of crucial, so I'm guessing in this game it will be something similar. Alright, weapon skill. Only glaives receive training in weapon skills, so that's not us. Although your descriptor from among the many doppelgangers in the mirror, you now have the chance to view the specific bonuses and penalties it grants. You can also examine the effects of other descriptors and choose a new one if you wish. Okay, so we got graceful or something like that. We are quick, lithe, and dexterous, able to move with grace and beauty. We have speed and quick fingers. Although I kind of don't want that one. I kind of want something like charming, maybe, or cautious? No, cautious. Clever? Clever's kind of fancy. Oh, graceful gives us speed, though. We're going to lose speed if we don't take that. Although maybe not too much. Let's just take a look at all of these. Ooh, light weapon skill might be nice. Strong. We can be strong. Okay. So I think I'm gonna go with... Our speed is so low now, though. Why do we lose intellect when I... Oh, I see. This one has -1 intellect. Okay. So being charming means you're dumb. Speed, quick fingers... I mean, losing speed might suck. Especially for us. Is there any other ones that give quickness? Oh man, stealthy might be really good to get though. Deception might be really fun, but it also lowers our initiative and running skills, which may or may not be important. This is probably the toughest choice I've had to make so far. -1 on running might not be so bad. I don't really care about heavy weapons either. Perception and concentration are okay, I guess. Endurance, slick. Persuasion and quick fingers, lower endurance, which gives us the hit points. Light weapon, stealth, deception, -1 initiative, and -1 running. Stealth might be really useful. I just don't know though. Armor, resistance, training, and endurance, but we lose some evasion, so that kind of sucks. What's quick fingers do? Is that delicate devices? You know what? Let's just go with what they told us to do. Yeah, we'll give it a shot. Who knows how this is gonna go? I have no idea what I'm doing, so. The Spectre says, the Spectre is. Everything about the spectral figure seems dreamlike. He is a hazy silhouette who seems to be made of blue glass smoke. He wears stylish, well-cut clothes. His handsome, bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though you've never seen him before. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees you. We weren't sure that would work. We pooled our strength and channeled it through me to reach you, to wake you up. He glances at the other figures here and frowns unhappily. It took more out of them than we thought. The other reflections, they're more like shadows now. Look, I'll bet you got a lot of questions. This whole place is basically your mind. Your body's still out there in the real world, healing from that fall. You need to get out there and finish the process. He shrugs. It shouldn't be too hard. You said I had to finish the process. What do you mean by that? After you wake up from this dreamlike state and attune to the tides, you'll need to find something called a resonance chamber. Your body should have landed somewhere near it. Just climb inside that, and everything will be fine. Before I met you, it felt like something was hunting me. Do you know what it was? He closes his eyes. That's a memory I don't want to recall. Large, black, furious. It's our death. It's the sorrow. He closes his eyes. I hope it's lost interest in you. If it finds us, we're done for. Who are these other people? You called them reflections? That's what they are. As I said, it's your mind. You'll find reflections of people you knew, people you met in the real world, and with whom you shared some kind of psychic connection. I don't know how or why. It just happens. What do you mean, attuned to the tides? Tides are like a force, like gravity or magnetism or something, except they respond to people's actions and perceptions. Your body, that is, your body in the real world, needs the tides to survive. It's not something you can need to worry about. Your body will attune as it wakes up. What is a resonance chamber? I remember pieces about it, but not the whole. It's a crystal sarcophagus. I remember it having 5 mechanical arms around it, and a metal ring set in the floor. I think we were aiming for it when we fell. When you open your eyes in the real world, it should be nearby. If this places my mind, why don't I remember any of this, any of you? It's your mind, a construct built to, I don't know, share thoughts, store your true self. Wait, you know how people say, in the first place? This is definitely the first place of your memory. Well, it was the first place for me anyway. You probably know better since it's yours. If you don't remember now, maybe it will come to you later. Who are you? He pauses and looks down at himself, considering a long time before answering. I'm you. I'm a part of your mind, a splinter. I was waiting for you. We called you with the memories of the others who are here. I don't know what happened next. So how do I get back to the real world? There's a portal down here. It'll take you back to your body. Just step through it. And the whole tides thing should take care of itself. He crosses his arms. When you wake up, find the resonance chamber and activate it. Then we can... When the hells is that? Oh, that's a bad sign. Causes the sorrow. The sorrow is anchored to these reflections. It's devouring their power. We have to get rid of them. Destroy its anchors or else the sorrow will erase us forever. This is definitely a crisis mode. A crisis begins when you enter a dangerous situation. Crises are turn-based encounters where you can fight, sneak, manipulate the environment, or talk your way to trouble. Each turn you can take one action to attack or activate an ability. You can also make one move. That reflection near you, kill it. You'll loosen the sorrow's anchor. Use left click to attack an enemy or move. Okay, fine. I can use effort to increase my chances, of course. Let's go with 85%. Oh man, I just punched my reflection to death. What in the... It's escaping. It's going to hide in your mind. Now run. Get to the next one. You can sacrifice your attack for a double move. The movement preview line turns purple when... Okay. We're moving. The sorrow is doing stuff. Another fragment got into my mind. Yeah, I got it. I know what I'm doing. 2 reflections down. I can move, though. Oh, there's an intern button down here. Okay. Moving into there. And that's it. Sorrow is doing its thing. What's it doing now? It's infecting it somehow. It's going to be an enemy now. Fettles are temporary conditions or status effects that can improve or reduce the character's stats. The sorrow has just placed a fettle on the remaining reflection. You cannot remove this fettle, but you may find a way to overcome it. I don't really want to do that. How do I not do that? Escape? Perfect. Oh, it's immune. Okay. It's armored. Okay. Skist, the reflection is protected somehow. You'll need to find a way to hit it even harder. Grab that piece of mirror glass. It may have enough residual energy to kill the reflection. Thank you for the warning. You could have told me that before. That would have been good. Alright, let's go pick up the loot. I got how inventory works. Yes, yes. Thank you. I need to equip my weapon. Or not equip my weapon. It's a cipher, apparently. There we go. We killed our reflection, and now hopefully it will go away. That was kind of scary, actually. You pried it loose. That thing is a cancer, an infection. It's unstoppable, but you stopped it. He holds his head in his hands. I can't believe it found us in here. He looks at you, terror in his eyes. That thing, the sorrow, it's been hunting you. It's what killed you in the first place. It'll keep hunting you until you activate the resonance chamber. I didn't remember it until I saw it, but that's why the chamber is so important. You have to get back and activate the chamber before it's too late. The portal to your body is that shimmering dome there. Go! Now. We'll go through the dome, and that'll be the end of our video, pretty much. We're at half an hour, a little over half an hour. Let's see what happens.
Where did he fall from? His body smashed to talc. It's a wonder he's still breathing.
All I saw was the corona, not his origin point. But look, he's healing already. Spontaneous regeneration.
Well, you look at... Wait, I know that face. Oh, I knocked them out. Or down, just down. What was that? What did you do, Calistage? His tone has become accusatory, suspicious. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is this man's kaleidoscope of tattoos writhing across his forearms. He wears a long, dark coat, belted at the waist, supplies filling the pockets. His boots are worn and stained with years of travel. You blame me? He emitted an internal physiological reaction in response to the fall, probably related to that fantastic healing process. Obviously, Aligern. Her voice rolls and hisses, and you have to rub your eyes to make sure you're not seeing double. Faint echoes of her actions trail from her, each nearly mimicking her, though some act and react to stimuli you can't perceive. Her vivid hair and outrageous clothing remain constant through these shadows. She does look cool. Oh yes, it's obvious, Calistage. His voice is grim and clipped. Then he sees you looking at him. You're no ordinary mortal, we know that much. Start talking. His voice is hard and set. I'm no ordinary mortal, what do you mean? You really don't know? He cocks his head to the side. I'm starting to think you're not him. Starting to think, Aligern? Tell me, is it a novel experience? It's his face. I've never seen any other people rebuild themselves like that. Only the changing god could have healed so quickly. He sighs and rubs his face, trying to regain his composure. Maybe you could help me for a change. You know what this means to me. You're familiar with the word changing, Aligern. It implies inconsistency. Thus, the changing god may well have changed. Several versions of her shrug as she addresses you. You have to forgive him. He believes you're someone he once knew, even though it's painfully obvious to anyone that you are newly born. Her most solid self curtsies, and while others bow or spin. I and my sisters am Calistage. This is Aligern. We are explorers, knowledge seekers, and that's how we came to be in this room. If I'm not mistaken, you are what we call a cast-off. The changing god created you, body and mind. Your sire used your body for a time, then abandoned it for reasons of his own. When his mind departed for new experiences, you were born in his cast-off shell. So you say I was born when the changing god left, but why am I not dead? I used a cipher to slow your fall further, but the damage still would have killed an ordinary person. But think about it. If you're the kind of person who can make your body into anything you want, what do you do? If you constructed bodies for centuries, you want to make each one better than the last, you want to live forever, You're not going to let your life end by accident. No, you'll make strong bodies fast, powerful. Maybe throw in regeneration while you're at it. The Changing God has always been vain. He rarely stays long in a shell that doesn't suit his self-image. She looks you up and down, her smile suddenly unnerving. Perhaps the Changing God fled because he didn't want to wear those scars of yours. Scars again, just like Planescape Torment. What was that blast of energy when I awoke? As I was telling my colleague, it was obviously a physiological reaction by some kind. I never witnessed the burst of a cast-off, but yes, it could very well have been caused by your nascent consciousness. Don't worry, I don't believe it caused any real harm, not to me at least. Really? You've been more abrasive than ever since we came in here. He shoots her a sidelong glance. She just can't empathize with other people, unless she's experimenting on them. If the Changing God abandoned my body, where is he now? If he abandoned your body, then his consciousness fled to another. He eyes you keenly. Oh, do stop! Then she gives Algern an equally piercing, the look she gives Algern is equally piercing, amplified by the withering glares of her sisters. I can read, I promise. If there's one thing we know about the Changing God, dear, it's that he always has a contingency. This child was born here. The object of your obsession will have been reborn somewhere else. Are you sure that surge didn't hurt you? If it did, it was normal. It was damage in our mind. Though how you check if I carked her, I couldn't say. Tough to find normalcy here. At least we know it didn't hurt Algern. That skull's as thick as organic stone. Is organic stone stronger than inorganic stone? I guess maybe it is. I want to ask about something else. Of course, child. You must be so disoriented. Before I woke, I was in some sort of dream-like labyrinth with a glowing specter. With how hard you hit the ground, I'm surprised that's all you saw. Are there any other cast-offs? Dozens. Hundreds. Who can say? Your sire has been doing this for several centuries. Though, if all of them were born the way you have claimed, it's a wonder any of them survive. If falling from the sky didn't kill me, is there anything that can? An excellent question. Having seen your regenerative abilities in action, I suspect they are primarily physical, a regrowth. If that's the case, you'd be unable to survive most varieties of psychic or molecular decomposition, disintegration, conflagration, and so forth. Degenerative disease could also pose a problem, and I know of several entities capable of psychic destruction. As she speaks, a vision flashes in your mind. It's not yours exactly, somehow. You know this is a memory of the Changing Gods. You were in a dark room lit by a myriad of blinking lights and holograms from many machines surrounding you. What about a body that can withstand the Sorrow's attacks? Says a voice. It seems to be coming from one of the machines. No, you reply. The thing has no respect for barriers of any kind, physical, temporal, psychic. This is the only way. With a series of gestures, you bring up an image of a crystalline pod. If the resonance chamber works, it will give us the power to stop the Sorrow's hunt once and for all. We just need the right focal point, a catalyst. The memory fades. Kettle Stage is still talking. You realize that the device you saw in the memory is identical to the one behind you now. It looks just like the Spectre had described it, a transparent sarcophagus inside a crystal dome, with mechanical arms arrayed around it on a metal ring. Unfortunately, the dome is shattered and the sarcophagus is cracked, and one of the arms is in pieces on the floor. Whatever its function, it clearly needs repair. Or flesh-eating viruses. One presumes disfigurement by the iron wind could likewise be devastating enough to... I think he gets the point, Calistege. Do either of you know how to fix that crystal chamber there? Algern chuckles, then firm and certain he says, not likely, though it might not be impossible. You need people with the appropriate knowledge. I'm sure the cult of the Changing God will hold the answer. Her distaste is evident in the expressions of her echoes, although the face of the one in the lead remains carefully impassive. You turn to the insane to help a newborn? Where's your judgment, Algern? It would take him to the Order of Truth. The Order of Truth? Are you mad? They would sooner take us apart. I like the girl more. Calistege, will you take me to the Order of Truth? Of course, once I provide an introduction to the priests, we'll have your chamber fixed in no time. You'll end up without your clothes broken in a ditch while she laughs it off as a good experiment. It's probably best I come with you as well. Suspicious as always, Allegren. Child, the world is an exciting place, but it is full of dangers. Rest assured, one of us will get you safely to where you need to be. I'll be right behind you. A sunny smile crosses her faces. Why do you want to go with me? What's in it for you? I won't deny that you are an exciting find, but it's not about that. I just want to see you safely out of the reef. Kid, you're not safe here. And not just because you're new. Treasure hunters trawl the reef, scavengers who would sell you for parts if they knew where you came from. What you were. Alright then, let's go. You've gained your first companions. They will follow the last cast-off and can be controlled during a crisis. You can speak to them about their pasts and take advantage of their unique abilities and skills. Companions have their own motivations and personalities, and depending on the choices you make, they may not follow you forever. You will find more companions who can join you as you travel through the 9th world. Take this opportunity to explore your surroundings. You may find items, equipment, and more to assist you. When you're ready, you can leave the broken dome using the stairs to the northeast. And that's going to be the end of our first video, 45 minutes into the game. Pretty cool so far. We are the cast-off. And let's take a look at ourselves. Can we... What do we look like? We kind of look sort of like a neo-Nazi a little bit. Alright, well, that'll be it for now. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care, have yourselves a wonderful day. And yes, for those of you who regularly watch my channel, I said there wasn't going to be any videos until I got back from vacation, but I lied because I really wanted to play this game. And so we're doing a couple videos today before I leave. Unfortunately, after my next video, which is going to be the second in this series, there won't be any more until I return on the 11th, so that is a bit unfortunate, but at least it gets your, it's a little bit of a dive into the game, dipping our fingers in, so to speak. Have a good day, guys. See you next time.